What if I told you that every night you leave this world and you don't even know it? While your body lies motionless, submerged in the darkness of rest, something inside you moves, observes, travels, learns, and sometimes suffers. Sleep, that state science reduces to a mere biological cycle, could actually be the most ancient portal to other realities, a sacred threshold to dimensions that escape the human eye, but not the soul. You think you rest, but what if you actually awaken to another plane? Who are you when you close your eyes? Who watches you from the other side? Thousands of people around the world claim to have visited realms that defy all logic. Some have floated outside their bodies, watching their sleeping selves from the ceiling of their room. Others have crossed impossible landscapes filled with archetypal symbols, beings of light and shadows. It's not hallucination, it's not fantasy, it's real, and it happens to you every night. But there's a problem. You don't remember it, because you've been taught that sleep is rest, that what matters happens only when you're awake. You've been convinced that what you experience with your eyes closed doesn't matter, that it's just the clutter of a disordered brain. But what if that supposed disorder were, in fact, perfect architecture? We live trapped in the illusion that wakefulness is the only reality. But when you sleep, the masks fall. Consciousness detaches from the physical body like a snake shedding its skin. A silent, subtle journey begins, as real as it is invisible. And you're not alone. Every night, you share the dreamscape with millions of souls, some like you, ignorant of the journey, others fully aware, and a few waiting to meet you, because the world of dreams is inhabited. Since time immemorial, sages have spoken of the astral plane, a parallel dimension composed of energy, vibration, and consciousness, a mutable reflection of what we carry within. There you cannot lie. You cannot pretend. You cannot hide. Everything you are manifests. Your fear takes shape. Your rage finds voice. Your love lights the way. Tibetan mystics spoke of the bardo of sleep. Shamans crossed it seeking answers. Mystics viewed it as a vestibule to enlightenment. And you cross it every night without knowing it. I repeat, you are traveling. But by ignoring it, you let chance steer your course. And like a rudderless ship, you end up in dark regions, trapped in loops, devoured by your own mental monsters. Nightmares aren't mistakes. They're messages. They're signals. And many don't even originate with you. Sometimes you dream of deceased loved ones. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe those encounters are real. Many claim to have received messages from beyond, from departed friends and family. Sometimes warnings, sometimes farewells, and sometimes presences you don't recognize, yet who know you. Beings of light, ancient entities, spiritual guides. Some offer help, others only watch. Then there are different nights, strange ones, when you realize you're dreaming, and inside the dream, you decide. That is lucid dreaming. The moment you remember who you are within the dream and take control, you fly, you question, you soar, you access answers unavailable in waking life. And it all begins with intention. Consciousness is the key. When you understand you are more than your physical body, you begin to navigate with clarity. But be careful. The more light you bring into the dream, the more shadows emerge. Because the astral world is not paradise. There are levels. The lower astral plane is dense, dark, full of negative projections. Here dwell energy parasites, wandering entities, the shadows of those who have forgotten who they were. They feed on fear, on guilt, on repressed desire. And yes, you can visit them, even if you don't choose to. Have you ever woken up exhausted, as if you'd fought all night? Have you ever felt watched during a senseless dream? Have you ever screamed inside a dream with no one to hear you? That's not fiction. That's experience. And it only changes when you change. Because there is also the middle plane, a place between heaviness and clarity. Here dreams are symbolic. Labyrinths appear, strange cities, aimless trains, infinite oceans. Your subconscious projects and also receives. And then there is the higher plane. Few reach it. Here the light is soft. Colors don't exist as you know them. Time dissolves. Here consciousness expands without limits. It's where some meet their guides, where teachings are received, where some claim to have spoken with their higher self. You don't arrive there by desire. You arrive by frequency. And how do you raise that frequency? Intention is everything. Before sleeping, declare your purpose. Wishing isn't enough. You must direct energy. Affirm clearly. Tonight I will remember my dreams. Another part of me will guide me as I rest. Write down your dreams upon waking, even if you only recall one image, one emotion. Note it. Something is being revealed. At first it may seem useless, but gradually you'll begin to notice patterns. Symbols will speak to you, animals, places, and you will understand that your true face hides within the dream. Because some dreams are more than dreams. Some dreams predict. The phenomenon of precognitive dreams has been documented since ancient times. People who dreamed of accidents, deaths, encounters, and then they happened. It's not magic, it's connection. In the astral world, time isn't linear. Past, present, and future coexist. What hasn't happened yet already exists on another plane. You only need to tune in. But not everything is prophecy. Sometimes it's healing. Within the dream, you can resolve unresolved conflicts, reunite with forgotten parts of yourself, heal emotional wounds that awake seem eternal. Unexpressed trauma becomes a monster, but if you embrace it within the dream, it dissolves. Many dream therapists know this. The unconscious doesn't lie. It only reveals. And then something even stranger occurs. Shared dreams. People in different parts of the world dreaming the same scenario. Individuals who meet in the same dream and recall it alike upon waking. These aren't isolated cases. There are records, testimonies. Are we connected on another plane? Is there a common field where our souls meet? Carl Jung called it the collective unconscious, a psychic network housing ancestral wisdom. Perhaps in sleep, we access that network. And there's more: sleep paralysis. That terrifying moment when you awaken but cannot move. Many have lived it. They sense presences, hear voices, perceive shadows. Science explains it as a temporary disconnection between body and mind. But those who experience it know there's more. What happens in that threshold between sleep and wakefulness? Are you trapped? Or are you witnessing true reality? Some claim that during paralysis, astral sight activates. You see your room, but not with your physical eyes. What you perceive is real, though invisible to the human eye. What if in that instant you glimpse what was always there? Many are terrified, but fear only feeds the shadows. Because the dream world isn't a place of punishment. It's a sacred stage. It's the temple where your soul meets its purpose. While your body rests, your spirit travels. You're not a mere human sleeping. You're an interdimensional traveler, a being of light who each night crosses invisible thresholds. But no one taught you. You were programmed to disconnect, to forget, to reduce your experience to a routine. Sleep, dream, wake, repeat. But you can break the cycle. You can awaken within the dream, and when you do, the world will never be the same, because you'll understand you're not limited by matter. Your consciousness is infinite. You can access hidden knowledge, heal your history, change your destiny. Sleep is the last free territory, where governments, religions, dogmas cannot reach you. Only you, your soul, and whatever awaits you on the other side. Remember this every night. When you close your eyes, you're not escaping reality. You're entering it. And what you discover could change everything. Ready to sleep tonight? Because this time, you may not return the same. And the most unsettling thought of all is this: what if you already aren't the same? What if many of your most important decisions weren't born in wakefulness, but on the other side? What if some ideas, intuitions, or paths you once took were planted while you slept? Some say they've received impossible insights in dreams, scientific discoveries, musical compositions, messages in unknown languages. Mozart spoke of complete melodies arriving in sleep. Physicist Niels Bohr dreamed the structure of the atom. Coincidence? Or connection? There's an ancient idea that's been lost over time: dream as revelation channel. In ancestral cultures, dreaming wasn't passive. It was an art. Egyptian priests practiced dream incubation in sacred temples, lying in dark chambers to seek the gods' answers. Greeks did the same in Asclepius's sanctuaries. Sleeping wasn't disconnecting, it was connecting more deeply. And the message was clear. Dreams were divine messages. Today, that wisdom is gone. Now we sleep amid artificial noise, blue light, and unconscious thoughts that aren't ours. We surrender to sleep like an exhausted slave yields to his cell. And thus, we close the door without realizing it. But the door remains open, and on that threshold, there's something more. A force few dare name, the guardian of the threshold. Ancient occultists knew that every journey of consciousness has a critical point. A moment you must face a presence that tests your will. It's not always monstrous. It may appear as mother, partner, or a place. But if you overcome it, the other side reveals itself. In dreams, this guardian shows as a profound fear, an abyss, a figure that paralyzes you, an emotion you cannot explain. Many wake before confronting it, but those who dare are changed forever. Because the dream doesn't only reveal the soul, it forges it. The ego disappears in the dream world. Limits dissolve. You can be a child, an elder, an animal, a cloud. And in that shift of form, time, identity, you learn. You learn that consciousness isn't bound to the body, and then the inevitable occurs, the rupture. One night, without seeking it, you will see yourself from outside. You'll feel yourself detach. You'll rise. And you'll understand you're not inside a dream. You're outside yourself. That is astral projection, a real phenomenon. Feared, misunderstood, but profoundly transformative. Thousands describe the same experience: a high-pitched buzz, vibrations, a kind of pull at the solar plexus. And suddenly, they float. They pass through walls, see the world from another angle. Some travel far, others cannot leave their room. But all feel one thing, a strange certainty they aren't dreaming, and they aren't. Astral projection isn't advanced lucid dreaming. It's something else. It's the temporary separation of your physical body and your subtle body. And those who experience it never forget it. But they also warn, not everything that glitters is light. Out there, other consciousnesses exist, not all benevolent. Because in subtle planes, you attract what you are. If you vibrate in fear, you'll draw darkness. If you vibrate in love, you'll open doors you didn't know existed. That's why preparation is crucial. Wishing for spiritual dream experiences isn't enough. You must prepare the temple, your mind, your body, your energy. Sleeping isn't surrendering, it's entering communion, and that starts before you close your eyes. Many ignore bedroom energy, bed placement, the direction you face while sleeping, clutter, electronics, artificial light. All that interferes, all that disconnects, and without connection, you're easy prey. Remember, each night is a rite, a silent ritual that can elevate you or fragment you. Some have dreams so real they weep with nostalgia upon waking, as if returning from a home they never knew they missed. A star, a forest, a forgotten face. That's not fiction, it's memory. Because in sleep, you also remember, not just today's events, but who you were and still are on another plane. Have you never felt some dreams more real than your life? Have you never resented waking? Perhaps because over there, part of you still lives, waiting for you to come back. And here comes the unsettling part. What if this world is also a dream? Many sages, from Plato to tantric yogis, said life is a more prolonged dream, that we're trapped in a collective dream state, and true awakening happens at death, or through conscious dreaming. Because sleep can be training for death, the soul's rehearsal, the preparation to leave the body without fear. What if each night were a reminder of what's to come? A little death, a chance to practice the art of letting go. And if that's true, sleeping isn't resting, it's rebirth, over and over, if you do it consciously. Because sleeping unconsciously is like living without purpose. You survive, but you don't evolve. And you're not here to survive. You're here to remember who you are, to discover that darkness isn't the enemy but the veil, and sleep is the first thread that can lift it. Tonight, when you close your eyes, do it with reverence. You're not plunging into nothingness. You're returning to the origin, the matrix where the soul speaks, where time doesn't exist, where truth cannot hide. And perhaps, just perhaps, there you'll remember you were never this body, this name, this story. You are light dreaming that forgets, and sleep is the chance to remember. Now tell me, will you keep sleeping as if nothing is happening? Or will you enter tonight with your soul's eyes wide open? Because what awaits you on the other side is already seeking you. And while you think you dream, maybe it's the other side dreaming with you, because you aren't the only one who watches or seeks answers. There is something or someone who crosses the veil with you each night, sometimes in silence, sometimes disguised as a symbol, a familiar figure, or a voice that whispers just before dawn. What if sleep isn't a private inner space, but a meeting place, a convergence point between the human and the divine, between what you were and what you can become? Because there's one secret I haven't told you, and if you've come this far, you're ready to hear it. Sleep isn't the journey. Sleep is you. You manifesting without limits. You exploring planes your rational mind cannot sustain. You recognizing yourself in scattered fragments of parallel realities. And there's a reason you dive into that other world each night. It's no accident. It's not rest. It's training to remember. Because true evolution doesn't happen in daylight. It happens in the invisible, the unsaid, in what is only lived with closed eyes and an awakened soul. So, if you've ever felt this world isn't entirely real, if you've ever woken with tears, inexplicable certainties, wounds you don't recall receiving, if you've ever dreamed something you couldn't comprehend, maybe it's because your true self is calling, and its voice is only heard in the silence of sleep. Now I invite you to do something simple yet powerful. Tonight, before sleeping, make a promise, a silent but unbreakable vow, not just to dream, but to remember. And if you dare, write it down below in the comments. Tonight I will remember. It's your seal, your pact, your key. And if something inside you has stirred, if you feel something long dormant beginning to awaken, then you're already ready. Subscribe if you want to keep exploring these hidden truths. This channel isn't just a corner of ideas, it's a crack in reality, a meeting place for those who know there is more, much more. Hit the bell, because the next videos will go even deeper, and you'll need to be awake to understand them. Thank you for making it this far. Not everyone does, and that means something. Now close your eyes, but not to sleep, to cross over. I'll see you on the other side of the veil. Or perhaps you're already there.